Wait, can Alex be the ghost this time? Can I be the podcast?
No.
No, I know.
You're
That is
shackled to the role of the
negotiable.
ghost. Anyways.
I know.
Hello and
My
welcome.
Sisyphean curse.
Hello and welcome to Ghost in the Podcast. I'm the podcast.
I'm the Inda.
And I'm the ghost.
Yes, the ghost himself. Now,
Themselves, again. It's gonna be a while until people get used to it.
Now, to introduce ourselves again, I am Titania. My
I'm
co-host
Alexander the
is...
Magnificent.
My co-host is...
I'm Alexander the Magnificent.
And our ghost is...
I'm Eminem. The ghosts themselves, yes.
Yes. Now, Alex here wanted to apologize for being gone for half a year. But
This is definitely not because we lost a recording and then a computer broke. That's definitely not the reason.
And in that order, yeah. And
the fact that the computer broke is definitely not a result of my impotent rage of a cybernetic entity trying to just kill myself to escape this madness. Not at all.
Yeah, it's not because of that, but it is your fault.
Of course. Obviously. I know. Data Life's existence is also my fault. Speaking of which, dear viewers, since we're coming back, by the time this is uploaded, this might already be old news, but we need to mention this. We were gone for a very long time, and as stated, it's not because the recording got fucked and the computer broke, and it's not because I tried to sabotage the podcast, not at all. But in the meantime, while we were gone, things were moving behind the scenes, not here, not on our front, but way down in Japan, in Mr. What was the fucking name of the producer of this? I don't remember anymore. What? No.
He left. It's a new guy now.
He did left. Yes, it's a new guy. I don't remember the name of the new guy. Right, but things were happening in the office of the new guy. Things were accelerating very quickly. And long story short, the next season of Data Live is just around the corner. It's in a month. So I guess we're just going to be doing this for the next year or something as it's coming out. Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm sorry, viewers. You will not get the One Piece retrospective.
Yep. You will not get the One Piece retrospective. You will not get the High School DxD better podcast. You will get nothing. You will eat your Data Life gruel and you will like it. You will suffer just like I had to suffer.
I mean, to be fair, they did get Doka Angel, and I still have PTSD from that, and that was pretty much your fault.
When Alex broke the news to us that the next season of Data Live is just in a month, there was a brief moment when I thought, you know what? Right now.
I'm going to cut that. Well, I'm not going to cut this.
I know.
I'm not going to cut
That was
this.
a long shot.
I'm not going to
cut
this.
That was a long shot.
I'm just going to silence you, like the...
We're all going to hell.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'll also silence... I'll bleep the part where I said the name.
Just like all of these people.
Yeah.
Responsible.
Yeah. But...
Yeah.
I will try to make you...
Speaking of
I will try to make you as bad as possible.
Cruel and unusual. Right, yeah.
I will try to make you as bad as... and look as bad as possible without canceling the podcast.
You do not have to. I'm doing that all on my own. You do not have to help me.
Okay, I was wrong. It comes out in April.
Oh God! Thank God! Whoa, my timeline has been extended a little bit. It almost feels like a ceasefire.
Yeah. Anyways,
we're all burning for this.
While while we were talking about that, can you just recap, um, the stuff we lost? Sorry, the stuff we didn't
The
lose.
stuff we lost. You mean I? So you
Start
mean
play
you
by
want
play,
us to
what I
do
think
a?
she's saying.
I'm not clear on that. Do you want me to like do a quick recap of like the stuff before the things we're gonna be talking about today? So like the last arc with the girl and the space and that
No.
stuff, or do you want
Why?
to recap? Okay, sure. Why what?
Eminem's silence is deafening. Why are you trying to hide, Eminem?
What? My silence?
Okay, just
Silence?
recap.
Hello?
Just recap
I
the times.
didn't
The
think
time
I was
mark.
silent.
Just recap the time mark.
The time mark, the New York. Okay, so jumping off right into it, the recording that was lost and now found and now recreated.
That was never lost.
We're jumping straight back into data life. Yes.
It was never lost. But basically, Kurumi comes to school, and people don't trust her.
For some reason, the person you threatened to eat the entire school is instantly trusted by the friend group.
I don't think he was an entire school, just like the main characters. But anyways, the main characters.
No, it's the one she threatens to eat the school. She's going to eat everyone.
Hey, look, you can keep your war fetishes whatever you want, Alex. But anyways, Kurumi.
Oh, you remember when she ate the cat people? The people abusing the cat?
I remember. I'm making a joke. Anyways.
Wait, she ate the cat boys and the cat girls and the cat children too.
No, she ate the people abusing the cat boys and the cat girls.
Especially the children.
Yes. Anyways.
Okay, yeah. So Kurumi, the great cat boy and cat girl war fetishist, comes back to the school and is like, "Hey, bitches, I'm in a mood for a cat right now."
And
nobody
like,
hands her over the cat to eat.
Shido, I'm going to make you fall in love with me, and if I succeed, then you have to let me eat you. But if you succeed in making me fall in love with you, then I'll, the kissing and the taking away the powers, but not really, but also yes, but also confusing. Also, Shido.
I'll join the harem.
Yeah.
We found out Shido can have the powers.
Yes,
as
but
well,
it's
like, it's annoying stuff. But this arc was actually pretty good.
It does. We did find it previously.
Before we
this arc is this arc is too heavy. It like tonally, it's completely out of the place. And Kurumi's arc and Kurumi's character arc is weird and completely out of place, I think. But it is what it is. For what it's worth, it's definitely better than the previous one. So,
for sure.
At no point does Kurumi go, "I'm going to genocide the Earth." And everyone's like, "What a little rapscallion."
Yeah, it's not. It's not cringe at the very least.
There are cringe elements, but we're gonna get to them. There are very much cringe elements.
I genuinely cannot remember.
Some pedophilia is again.
Okay.
I will remind you. Don't worry.
That is
I remember.
like the Groundhog Day pedophilia. It's like if you don't think about it, it's not there.
Groundhog Day pedophilia is the best sentence I've heard in my life. That's gonna be the title of that episode. We got it. Got it in one. Okay, the Groundhog Day pedophilia. In any case, so Kurumi comes back. They all don't trust her. Kurumi makes a deal with Shido. They go meet on a roof. Before that, Shido consults with the spirit crew and talks to them about it. But of course, they try to tell him that he shouldn't take the deal because this is a stupid deal. And obviously, she's plotting something nefarious, which is true, but not the way that they think. But Shido is, of course, being the goldfish memory motherfucker that we all know, and some of us even maybe enjoy the presence of. He's like, no, I'm gonna take her deal. I need to try this. This is my mission.
I mean, I mean,
Alpha male
I mean,
Shido.
I mean,
That's my impression of him.
to be fair, for most people, like, not falling in love with someone, or like admitting that you fell in love with somebody, is not that hard, but it is, like, it's weird, because he knows that if he falls in love, he's
Yeah.
also going to die, which is like, I can understand why Shido, without knowing the wider context, will agree to this.
He does know the wider
Right.
context.
Which I think what you're trying to imply is that the parameters of this challenge are very ill-defined. Like all Shido has to do to not lose is never ever admit that he's in love with Kurumi, and all Kurumi has to do to never ever lose this challenge is admit that she's in love with Shido. This is a stupid challenge. None of them could potentially lose it.
Well,
Like if you think about it for a hot second, how could they? How can this end in anything but a draw?
well, that's what the arc is about. And as to
I mean,
continue,
yes, it does end in a draw.
they have
Yes,
they have
that's
this
the
really
point.
cute date, which is like, it's questionable how much fun Kurumi is having, because certain shenanigans happen later, but it is actually very cute, but it's sort of like the ending makes it weirder, but
Can we
just
just
a
say the
standard.
ending? I feel like everyone who's watched this show, who's watching this podcast, has seen the show before.
Well, yes,
I don't
but
think so.
you're
I hope
correct, but
so.
you
I
don't have
hope
to
not.
say
I
it.
hope not.
But anyways,
Yeah. If you are a watcher of our podcast and you have seen this show, stop watching our podcast. I have failed in my
Stop
mission.
making
if
our
that's the case.
entire audience go away, Eminem.
yeah.
Have failed as a creator. I have been
we-
trying to drill into your minds for the past however episodes we've done that you should not be watching this anime. If you decided to do it anyway, I have failed you and I apologize.
We would be more famous than Mr. Beast if it wasn't for you, Eminem. I just want you to take that in.
Absolutely.
We could be making.
Now to be like the anti-president, and if you check behind your car right now, you have $50 that are in a box that will only open up if you watch a season of Data Live.
We could be making.
God.
We could be making damn it! I don't want to get in trouble with the Mr. Beast fanboys, but also like I don't even think he's like, he's just like a he's the biggest YouTuber and everything that comes with it. Like I don't think he's like a bad person necessarily, but he's just a product of the YouTube machine. But I do want to make the joke that here we could like, if it wasn't for you, Eminem, we could be making starving children have to stare at food and not eat it to win $1 million challenge.
Yes,
But
it wasn't for me. So how horrible that I'm depriving you of this lucrative opportunity. Terrible me.
I mean, okay, to be fair, Mr. Beast Mr. Beast did put like, you have to stay in a supermarket and I'm gonna pay you $1,000. And then he cut out the water on the power.
Jesus. On a more lighthearted end of the spectrum, let me put it like this. If Mr. Beast did release a Mr. Beast challenge of like, you can win $1 million if you watch one single season of Data Live, that would literally be impossible Mr. Beast challenge. Nobody would win that.
But us, we'd be the winners and we'd make all the money.
Yeah.
No, not even us, because I don't even think I've seen the Data Live. I know that my eyes watched it. I know that I have consumed the things that were beamed into my eyes through the glistening rays of the monitor that I'm watching this on. I understand that I have seen it, but have I truly seen it? Have I truly understood the depths of depravity that is Data Live?
So what you're saying is that we should just get the money and like there shouldn't even be a competition.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, I was going in a much more esoteric and
Oh,
a conceptual place, but
I
sure, we
mean,
can go there as well.
we tried to torture that part out of you, but I don't know if it's because torture doesn't work as a interrogation tactic, but maybe it's just that you really want like that esoteric analysis.
Sure, sure. And that's the only way I can get them. Of course, obviously. Anyway, going back to it because we do have 4 episodes to go from. Although not a lot of happens in them actually. Like it's very streamlined. So the Shida consults with the spirit, decides that he's going to go ahead and take the deal. He meets with Kurumi on the rooftops, and he says that yes, he will accept the deal. They flirt a little bit. Very, very flirtatious. Kurumi, always the seductress, doing her best.
There's like a
And
deja
then
vu, and you think
into
that Kurumi did something, and she did, but it actually wasn't evil. But you
there
find
is
out later.
yes,
But anyways,
there's
there's like
some kind of there's some
yeah.
kind of like a visual glitchiness, like a fuckery that is happening, and that's implying that something is happening, and it's obvious what's happening. You all already know what's happening because we already had the time travel arc. You already know what Kurumi's powers
We
are.
had
You know what this
multiple
is as an audience. This is obvious immediately.
time travel arcs and also
I guessed it
multiple.
frame one. I guessed it frame one.
I mean, yeah. I'm not gonna say you didn't. Um, I mean, there is something you guessed, but then you forgot that we're gonna get into it at the end. But
Oh, there's also that. Yes, also that part that I fucking Nostradamus. Yeah.
yes,
Yes. Anyway, so there is a little bit of a visual fuckery indicating that time travel has been performed.
I,
Obviously, I'm
but
not
yes,
even gonna question that.
the strongest wizard Ellen appears, and she is like Sorry, I just got a brain fart because I forgot how angry it made me that like Westcott Prescott or whatever his name is like he has one of the most broken abilities, but he just
He's
uses
never
it to
using
merc.
it.
Never uses it.
No, he does use it, but he
The
uses
way
it
the
to
way he
make
uses it is not only
he uses it to make little
to make the children.
girls
Yeah.
that just
Write the
Yeah.
future and
Yeah.
create life. And his master plan is let me make an army of spirit clones, not let me write I win in the book.
He create he has the most broken stupid ability that would absolutely allow him to win this conflict immediately, and he uses it in a manner that isn't even bad. It is bad, but that's not even the point. Like he manages to also do it in a way that is incredibly creepy. Like you're wasting your power on something so bad and creepy. Why are you doing this? Why
and,
are you such a bad villain, Westcott Prescott? If you
and,
watch the trailer for the next season, he's not going to get better. He's only going to get worse.
yeah, and like to be fair, he does have the out of like that the other girl is like suppressing the power and stuff, but also it's just
That's just
like
speculation on our part.
no, I mean she does say it out loud in the show, but it's like we don't know to what extent, and like does she have to stay awake 24 hours? No, she can just go to sleep, and then Westcott can still not use it. So it's just I we already talked about it, I think, in the previous work. But anyways, yes, he used it to make little
Yeah.
girls that are very creepy, and that might be the intention, but also it might just be to get certain viewers of that they also want to create little girls.
It's definitely the latter. I mean, it's definitely both. It's definitely both, but the core reason is definitely the latter.
Yeah.
Right. Alan appears. Alan attempts to kill Shido because now Westcott is moving on to his final stage of the plan, and he actually wants to fucking kill Shido. That is now his plan, to just murder Shido. He finally is trying to do what he should have been trying to do from the very beginning. That is just murder Shido. Because now he has the power, and he now wants to just.
Shido is truly the one that is the one thing that stands between him and his plans. Like, I mean,
do you remember when we threw his plans were? Those were fun times. Before the retconned it, now we have no idea what his plans are.
No, he wants the demon lords of the angels of the girls, which is
why? For what reasons? For what
power.
purpose?
Yeah. Good question. Good question. Okay, but like,
he went
okay,
from
yeah, exactly.
no, he went from an interesting villain to just like an I want power villain, which is like it's not necessarily bad, but it's
Yeah,
just way less interesting. But anyways,
yeah,
like
yeah.
before,
We talked about how much more bad
yeah,
Wesker Prescott is.
like
Yeah.
before he was like the opposite of Shido. He wanted to get rid of the spirits, and he wanted because both. But before we thought that Shido and Westcott Prescott both wanted to save the world. You know, Shido with love and Westcott Prescott with destroying stuff. But now he just wants the demons, lords of the angels, and like yeah.
Right. We talked about it. We already said that the dynamics of the two characters have inverted in a very ironic way. Where previously it was like about a moral decision between control and love and like control and cooperation, but now it's about like consent versus lack of consent. That's what happened, and it's terrible, and it's just creepy and bad. But it is
Anyways,
what it
but
is.
yeah,
We are where we are, and we just
Ellen, the
have to keep
strongest
soldiering
wizard,
on.
and yeah, and Ellen, the strongest wizard, would have been able to kill Shiro if it wasn't for Mana, who showed up, and she's still
Right.
hurt,
Yes.
but
Yes. Mana shows up.
yeah, she's like the
Yes.
fifth
Mana shows
strongest
up.
wizard.
Ellen releases at this point. Yeah. Anyway, Mana shows up. Mana interrupts Ellen. Ellen like summons the spirits of the girl, the little spirit children of Westcott Prescott, the weird little clone spirit children, and then Kurumi also joins in on the fight, and they all sort of fight, but it's a very very inconclusive fight. It ends in a draw. They all sort of depart, and they all sort of retreat,
I mean,
and that's kind
technically
of pretty much
Kurumi,
ends day one.
technically Kurumi and Mana win because they like Shiro is still alive, but yeah, like it's not conclusive, but
Right.
they got their goal done.
Right. Right. They all reconvene at the wayward the home for wayward spirits. They all have a conversation about what all of this implies. Mana reveals that Kurumi actually appeared in front of her and told her that this is going to happen. So this already immediately confirms what we suspected, that yes, this is time travel. Kurumi is using her time travel powers to go back in time and change the events such that she can warn Shido ahead of time, the events of the future, so that Shido doesn't fucking die.
I mean,
Why it is important is going to be revealed in
we find
a
that out
second.
more later, but you can get the sense of it now. Yeah, it's probably something like that's happening.
Yeah. The point being that Kurumi is trying to influence the events of the future. Probably she's trying to make sure that she wins the bet she made with Shido.
But
That was my
anyways,
assumption, that she is traveling back in time and protecting his ass because she needs him to be alive for some reason, and she needs to win this bet that she made with him. But in order to do that, he has to be alive, so she also has to protect him.
But anyways,
That's
they
the gist of
they start their dates and stuff, and it's like trying to fall in love with each other. Is this the arc where the chocolate happens,
Yes.
or was that another?
Yes, but that is a little bit later. It is the chocolate. The chocolate does happen here. Kind of, the chocolate happens a little bit later. Technically, right after what I'm about to say. The first dates that they start, like Kurumi immediately appears on his doorstep and is like, "Hey, Shido, let's go to school together. This is the start of our dating," which is already way more forward and way better than any single bitch has ever done in this story. Like, imagine how much better it would be if any one of them tried to do this. This is so refreshing. I wish it was in a better show.
You know you could have gotten that kind of if the filler was real, but it's not.
Right, yes, if the filler was real.
You know, when Shiro was
the filler kind of
exploding.
is real, though. It kind of is real and it's not real.
Let's not talk
It's-
about
Right. You
it's
could
a
say that
quantum state.
it's in a quantum state of realness and realness. You could say that it's very much like Israel. It either is real
I was
or
about
not
to
is
say
real.
let's not talk about the Middle East, but I guess you had to
Don't
ruin that
delay.
too, Ghost. Uh,
It might just be too late for the Middle East. Anyway,
Future
we
historians are going to
do
look
their
at this
dates. Their
podcast and
dates.
put this in classrooms and be like, this was the attitude at the time.
Yeah.
This was how people felt about the conflict. We
No, I think it's more like that the future civilizations are gonna talk about the humans and how inconsequential they were, except for me, of course.
That's why you're the head. That's where you're the center of the
yeah
history.
we.
Piece.
We had this conversation multiple times on this podcast that a big part of us doing this is to create a sort of a geocache where we just like hopefully this is going to be unearthed by future civilizations and they will think that they've stumbled upon something like secret eldritch knowledge of this like lost forgotten show that was just so mind numbing and so mind bending that it like influenced people in a horrifying way, like the King in Yellow, for example. Be a good, appropriate comparison. Anyway, they start their dates. Their date starts with just them being on the rooftops and eating lunch, and they all prepared lunch for them, and they all just are incredibly ecstatic about how good the lunch is the other made, and they all like flirt about it, and it's kind of cute and it's kind of wholesome.
There's a interesting difference between what the dude did, because Shiro made like home food, like he prepared it himself, and that's why Kurumi likes it. However, Kurumi just bought something expensive, or like maybe she did it herself as well, but it was like very expensive ingredients and stuff, and that's why
Kurumi should have
Shiro.
infinite money.
I
Can you
mean,
imagine how easy it is for her to rob banks with her power to teleport?
well,
She has infinite money and can have anything in the world, but she does live in an abandoned building.
well, I mean, at that point, certain things stop making sense, Like, sorry, you stop wanting certain things at one point, and
Yeah,
like that was
sure.
more like a safe house, not where she wanted to live.
I don't think she lives anywhere. I think she just exists in every time, every moment. She doesn't really have a place that she stays at because I don't think she does that.
Well, yeah, because I mean, she's also being followed, and actively people are trying to kill her, so it makes sense. But anyways,
Is she?
I mean,
Yes.
Are
She's
people
the
actively
number
trying
one
to
hunted
kill
down
her?
spirit of all spirits. This was established in season 1 and 2.
Okay, by whom?
She's enemy number
By
one.
Mana? Who else is even trying to?
The
Okay,
rest
but
of the
like by
organization
whom?
is just they're not main
it's
characters.
who's
And we don't
hunting
see
her?
it.
oh no, it's not. It's not only that
Okay.
she's being
Calling
hunted,
bullshit
but
on
also she's trying to hunt somebody else. So that's why. But yeah.
That I buy more. The fact that she is inordinately interested in finding the spirit of origin is why I think she does this elaborate act. Not because she is actually hunted. Because I don't think she's in any danger whatsoever. I think it's the opposite. When she's trying to be
Mana
a
was the
careful
biggest.
hunter and is trying to be inconspicuous.
Mana was the biggest danger to her, aside from like Westcott Prescott winning her Demon Lord. But yeah. They're not active.
I mean,
She's not
okay. Anyway,
she's not really being hunted actively right at the moment. But yeah. Anyways, there's
right.
also the scene with the cats.
Yes, going back to the recap. Right, I was gonna get there. Yes, so they each really love what the other has made for them. So that part of the date ends in a draw because none of them managed to influence the other decisively. They both loved the lunch, so that isn't conclusive. They go, they return home, and on the way there, Shido shows Kurumi a place, a back alley where all of the stray cats in the neighborhood gather. It's a very cute and wholesome scene of like those cats in the alley of just like sitting and cleaning themselves and like meowing, and it's all very cute. And Kurumi tries to pet one of the cat, but the pet is not responsive, doesn't want to be pet by Kurumi. Kurumi is sad about it. For some reason, she just acts like a normal schoolgirl now. Whatever, I'm just gonna let it slide. Shido like encourages her, and in response, Kurumi, like instead of petting the cat, pets him on the chin, and he starts meowing because he is the cat that she is petting. That's cool. It would be really cool in a show that isn't Data Live. I would probably even enjoy it.
I enjoyed it still. I mean, it's I have I have learned to separate the bad scenes from the good scenes because I'm also a writer.
Teach me that
So
power. Teach
yeah,
me that power, and I will become unstoppable.
well, I read a lot of online stories, and there are some parts that just like have you ever read a story and then you just see random transphobia out of nowhere? So I just copy so I just
Yeah,
copy
or just
pasted
random.
and change that part of the story. And
Just for your own
yeah,
personal benefit. Okay, I
yeah,
mean that's cool.
just for myself. Like I wouldn't I won't steal art like plagiarism and stuff. But yeah.
Well, then you'll have a video up from H Bomber guy about you.
I mean, yeah, but like
Actually, on that note, holy shit, you guys, you are right. I didn't even think about it, but you are completely right. We have stumbled upon a podcast that cannot possibly be ever accused of plagiarism and cannot possibly ever plagiarize anything, because whoever else would be as insane as we are to do this? Nobody before us and nobody after us will ever
They're
try to
going
do
to
what we're
seriously
doing right now, which is
analyze
analyze
data
data.
live.
yeah.
Yes, we are unplagiarizable, and we cannot possibly ever plagiarize. We won. We won the plagiarism wars.
When the nuclear bombs went off, those three survived because the bombs only killed plagiarists. It turned out the world was full
And
of
that's
plagiarists.
why ours be the only podcast left in a geocache, because it's going to be the one immune from all the accusations of plagiarism, and one immune from plagiarism.
This is why you gotta be. This is why conceptual weapons are dangerous. Weapons that just kill the concept of plagiarism. As like society's falling apart, buildings it turns out were plagiarized. People, it's like, no, you got your name from someone else, but
Be
only
careful.
are.
Be careful about memetic weapons. Don't want to unleash them, too early. You want to be very careful about the parameters and the boundaries.
You know, that sounds like a power from Data Life.
No, that sounds like a power that is way too interesting for Data Life.
Oh no,
but
like,
one that Data Life would
no.
probably.
Like they will have the power, but they wouldn't use it in an interesting way.
Right. Yeah.
Like
They would have like a book that writes
They would come up with
concepts
that power, but then just fail to use it.
they would delete the concept of French fries from an episode, and Shido or the girls will turn into children again, and also Shido is going to forget his memories.
Right.
Also, there's going to be time travel involved, and you know.
Did you notice that there's a lot of
behind the scenes
repetition
for
in
them?
this show? But you're right. But now that you mention it, Titania, there's a whole lot of repetition in the show, isn't it? Like, you'd think that they would have more ideas than 3, but they really don't.
Yeah, I mean, this one is sort of a new idea, time travel. We haven't done that before, right?
Sure, yeah, of course. Except we did that already.
I think we did it twice.
Yes. I'm feeling the pain again. Okay,
but,
no, focus a minute. Focus.
It's you know what they say. It's like a joke. The more you say it, the funnier it is.
No, that's the no.
Anyways, they have
yes.
the date.
I'm pickle Eminem. Yes, they have the date. The date finishes. The cats. Kurumi pets Shido as a cat, and the date ends. That is the end of their first date. Westcott Prescott plots something nefarious in the background that is shown intermittently. Westcott Prescott is wondering how Shido is able to consistently avoid his attacks. And that is going to be relevant in a second.
By the way, his grand plan is just send more little girls to Shido. It's not like that's. I mean,
Yes.
It's not right. Shido has a heart attack in his magic book.
Yeah, like, I mean, yeah, it's just it. I mean, he does have the healing from the fire spirit, but also it's limited, and he can die actually. So that's weird. But anyways, the weird part is
He
like,
can heal. So the way it's explained in the book is
Right.
that he can heal from any injury that wouldn't kill him. But if he
Yeah.
dies, he's dead.
yeah, and also
Okay,
there is
sure. The point being that Westcott Prescott intermittently is shown like plotting and like, oh, Shido is consistently avoiding. He never actually stops to devise a new, better plan. He just keeps sending more girls.
And just to emphasize, it's always about execution. It's not necessarily the idea because, like, sometimes you don't have to be like overwork yourself or be overly smart. You can just keep doing it, and eventually he thinks that it might overwhelm Shiro, which is, it would be fine. But this is not explored. Like, Death Note is not interesting because there's a book that can kill people. It's about how people think about the book and about how all of these things happen. Like, there's a reason people don't like the live action Death Note that Netflix made because they just don't think about the rules and they don't
Right.
experiment. They don't analyze the situation.
Right.
It's like just
The thing about
Mhm.
the thing about Death Note that is so amazing is that like you have all of those supernatural elements like the Shinigami and the notebook that can kill people, right? But at the end of the day, what Death Note is about, it's about a battle of two minds and all of the intricacies that go into it. And it doesn't really matter that you have this supernatural power because it's just about these two super intelligent people trying to outsmart each other. So all of these supernatural elements just sort of bleed into this world and form a consistent framework of rules that makes sense within the setting. This is something that Data Life lacks. And you could say that it's stupid for us to accuse Data Life of that because at the end of the day, Data Life is a fun, lighthearted harem show where all of this is like just hand waved away because it's just for the comedy, just for the goofs. But Data Life tries so fucking hard to make it seem like there's something more in there. To be that show that is like the harem, but also serious elements and serious plots and like thinking about the stuff. But it just fails every time it tries to do that.
and
At
hey,
least High School DxD knows what it is.
yeah, and like, hey, you know what? Here's my fetish: a good story, and Data Life consistently fails at, just it stumbles over this like these mistakes. Like, if you just had a second draft, they probably would be fixed. And like, what I'm saying is like, I mean, will it make Data Life better? Yes. Will it make Data Life more money? Maybe not actually, but I think more people will appreciate it.
It will probably be relevant. I mean, it is frustrating that the one fetish Data Live consistently fails to cater to is a fetish for good storytelling.
Yes. And also a fetish for
Okay.
not lollies, but I guess that is contradictory to the author's wishes.
Speaking of, we're just about to get to that part. We're just about to get to lollies. So back in the house, the next day is almost dawning, and somebody crawls into Shido's bed, as is usually the case, as happens all the time, because this is a nightly occurrence for him. And it turns out that I don't remember which girls. I think it was the
It's the white hair.
I think it was the nurse lady. Is Nia? Nia definitely. I think it was Origami, and I think it was
Origami
Natsumi.
and the Idol.
Yes.
Maybe, but like I don't really remember which ones. But the point is that the three of them sneak into Shido's bed and like try to seduce him because they need to quote unquote make him more resistant to Kuromi's allure, to Kuromi's seduction. Of course, it ends in the exact anime goof you can imagine that it ends in.
Yeah.
So,
Wait.
as an elaborate punishment,
Just
yeah.
to it's the writer, the stalker, and the lesbian that Eminem refuses to call a lesbian. I guess the bisexual is more accurate.
She's not a lesbian. She's not a lesbian. She's not bisexual.
We're not doing this one again.
She's a straight woman that hates men. She's a straight woman that hates men and likes to prey on women. That's it. That she's not a gay person.
I'm not saying she's a good person, and I'm not saying what she did was not wrong. But
I'm not making moral judgment. I'm saying that she is not physically attracted to women.
Okay, can we just go through this? We've had this argument for like 3 podcast episodes. You can rewatch this. We're just gonna run in the same circles again.
This is my hill. This is my hill that I've decided to die on.
We didn't actually lose the footage. It's just that
we have demolished your hill. We're moving on.
We didn't actually lose the footage. It's just that it was all like terabytes of this discussion over and over.
It was 9 hours of this, and we never got to talk to you.
Viewers, you would have. Right. So actually, now that the cat is out of the bag, actually, this is why we have been gone for 6 months. So we were just had this discussion continuously for 6 months and just could not stop. That's why we're sorry.
Yeah,
well, I'm not.
sorry.
They are.
Well, yeah. Well, no, you should.
I will never apologize for having this discussion.
Anyways,
but I will never apologize for this. So okay, so getting back to the discussion at hand here. So Miku is not a lesbian. No, okay.
Anyways, as punishment for getting ahead, they're turning to lollies, and then
right,
all the other girls,
which is bizarre.
Yeah, all the other girls use the witch. She was a cool character, actually. I actually like the character, but I forgot her name. But anyways, they use the witch's power to look older. Which is... I mean, yes. It's preferable to the other thing. But it's still like, the Toka situation.
But the thing is...
Yeah.
It is bizarre because let us all remind ourselves that specifically Shido's explicit type is a child. He is very much into children. We know that because he consistently gets hard only around Yoshinon.
Okay.
And that's why Natsumi tortured him the way that she did, because he genuinely does like children. Turning these girls that came into his room.
To get into spoilers, to be fair, Yoshinon is like 50 or something, like way older, and also
yes. As we found out, Yoshinon is actually a 70-year-old woman.
Yeah,
it's his spiritual attraction to 60-year-old women. That's what it's actually is.
No. It's just he's into older women that look young. Which is.
So he's a textbook lolicon then, 1,000-year-old vampire that looks textbook lolicon.
Exactly.
For fuck's sake!
Exactly. I just wanted you to realize.
How do people defend this shit?
They don't. They just hide in the shadows. But anyways.
That's true.
I mean,
if the Data Life subreddit is anything to go by, they don't even defend this shit. They just talk about cute girls and make waifu lists, but they never try to defend it because nobody even wants to talk to them because they're just.
What was the witch's name?
Who cares?
Natsumi.
Natsumi.
And I care. I like her.
She does look like just a short, flat-chested person, not like a lolly. While Yoshinon does look like a... And it is also the infantilization. But we're not going into it because Alex wants to finish.
Mukuro is more of a lolly because we've talked about it. Like her archetype is child. So.
Yeah, funnily enough, she has more womanly assets, but she's still more of a lolly character. And it's not just her height; it's also the personality.
I mean, she actually acts. We're talking about the space girl, right?
Yeah, Space Girl.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. She's like the opposite of 1,000-year-old lolly. She's like the reverse of it.
A little bit, yeah.
She's so infantile, yeah.
Yeah, she's somebody who looks older but is infantile. She's like, what's the inverse of that?
Yeah.
The 1-year-old adult?
Born
yesterday. She's born yesterday.
Born sexy yesterday, yeah.
Born yesterday. Born sexy yesterday, right? That's the trope. Yeah.
That's the inverse of it.
Mila Jovovich from The Fifth Element.
Yeah.
That's it.
Which is
Yes.
honestly,
Anyway,
I feel bad for her because this is way worse. But anyways,
I mean, don't feel bad for a fictional character. Feel bad for me for having to.
no, I cannot feel bad for you. But let's continue.
Yeah. To be honest, if you did feel bad for me, this podcast would not exist. You would
That
not be
is
able
true.
to.
We
Yeah. Anyway.
we really torture you. Anyways,
Anyway, right. So they performed this elaborate punishment, and now it is the time for the girls to indulge in the good old tradition of making chocolate for the loved ones, because the
I think
Valentines
you're
are just
forgetting
about around
something
the
very
corner.
important, Eminem.
Which part? I think I wasn't fully certain which order of events that was in. I think you know what you're talking about, but yes, I.
Can we all establish that Noshima's idea of an adult man is Andrew Ryan with her puppet?
Right,
what?
right, yes, I forgot about that.
Oh,
Right, this is very
wait.
important. This is why the screens are there. You're gonna have to use them. So some of them are aged up to the standard of like an older woman, so that they're more like curvaceous and more like looking older. One of those oldened people is Yoshinon. So Yoshinon looks like old Yoshinon, like adult Yoshinon, but for some reason that also involves the puppet on her hand. The puppet is also aged up, which means that the puppet now has a tuxedo, a striped tuxedo, a top hat, a monocle, and a mustache. And the
He
thing
doesn't have a
looks
monocle, he's an
legitimately
eye
like
patch.
Andrew Ryan.
No, he's
It's an eye patch, right? Sure, but but it does the way it looks. It looks like Andrew Ryan or Mr. House from Fallout New Vegas. It's legitimately that.
You have to seduce the girls so we can have the power to defeat Caesar's Legion.
Yeah.
That is literally that. It's amazing.
With
Once
the
we
power of
figured
the
that out,
spirit,
everything
we'll
will.
bring mankind back to the stars.
You should be the new voice
Remember,
actor.
Shido. House always wins.
You should be the new voice actor for Rick and Morty, Alex.
You should. You absolutely should.
You know
Adult Swim should give you a job.
that's why we come to this podcast for evergreen content.
Evergreen content. No, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
this
This
is
will
never.
never age poorly at all.
Yeah, this podcast ages like milk. You got cheese.
Yep. Unlike Yoshinon, this podcast will never age poorly, and it will not become a strange, ghoulish facsimile of Andrew Ryan. Definitely, because we're not libertarians. But anyway, so
Just
they
to compound, I like that the space girl is no longer like she's around, but she's not really a character. She's just not doing anything, which
Just
is
background material.
yeah. It's better that
Yeah.
she doesn't do anything, but yeah.
She's more
she's
infantile than the
completely
lonely character.
superfluous. She is completely superfluous to the events of the kind of crazy if you think about it, because outside of Mukuro, every single other character had development, and most of them had shorter arcs than Mukuro. Most of this season was Mukuro, and I even remember her name. I don't even know why, but yes, she had a longer arc than everybody else, and she had so much less development. Anyway,
And
not to belabor the point, because this isn't even about Mukuro.
it's not like we are picking on her or like because she's the new one or anything. It's just that she's literally not doing anything, and she has like everyone has like a certain like trope or something that they do, and none of them are doing anything. They're just like Mukuro is not doing anything. I mean, like she's just there and looking.
You could say that
Yeah.
you could say that Yuzu and Yuzuru also no longer do anything. They pretty much
They have
lost
their
their
moments.
place. They're not
Like
a little bit here and there, but usually
even here they have more than Mukuro, I would say. But anyways,
I suppose. Anyway, they begin to make chocolate. That is important because now we're finally
just to give an equivalent, and Natsumi right after her arc had more to do than Mukuro. If we were going to compare, like even
sure.
Yeah.
Oh, also, okay. Forgot to mention one thing that we need to mention. One good origami joke that we had. You blinked and you missed it because when the fucking shenanigans of girls sneaking into his bed happen, origami then afterwards is like, oh, so a child is your type. You like your little sister. It's good that I've already prepared these adoption papers. Please adopt me, Shido. That's a joke. It's the one
Yeah.
joke you get.
They also talk about like that you need like a little girl to compare to the older woman. So that's like I think the writer is
Sure.
Nia. The writer is the one that says that.
I think the writer is just the worst. Remember when you had the
Nah,
good writer?
she's a trash girl. I like her, but that was cringe. I will say that.
I'll be honest, the
I
art
thought that
is
you were
kind
talking
of
about the writer
charming.
of the show.
No. The writer girl. The
No, Nia is cool. Nia is
yeah
cool. She's a
yeah
trash girl. She's a good trash girl.
yeah.
Okay,
Alex, you were
so
gonna
they
say
make
something?
chocolate now.
I thought you were
Yes?
talking about the author
Yeah,
of
let's
the
say so.
light novels.
Oh no. I don't. I mean, oh, I prefer that of the author and take that however you want.
I prefer if that man was 6 feet.
Under the sea.
Should not say that on YouTube. So I will not. Anyway, they make chocolate
Blur that out.
now.
Thanks, Andy, on editing.
Don't worry. Yeah, no,
Origami.
I have cut out all the references to.
Under the sea.
Okay, there were a lot in this episode, viewers. Because I'm moody. Anyway, they make chocolate, and origami is obviously, of course, super extra about it. Origami is the only one that actually is like really funny about it because she wants to make a life-size replica of herself made from
A nude
chocolate
sculpture
and
of herself,
creates
be
this
specific.
whole a nude sculpture of herself, full-sized. And she makes this entire fucking device to mold the chocolate perfectly to do it. And it has to be explained to her that this is not gonna work. And also she would not want that.
Well, it's not that it won't work. It's that
because Sheena would die of poisoning from eating that much chocolate. It's explained to her.
yeah,
Right.
that's why it won't work.
Right.
But like she could make the
Would
statue.
his regeneration actually prevent that? That's the question.
Yeah, and specifically, what's the name of the girl with the panda? I don't know, like a bear in her chest.
Panda?
The red hair girl's second in command. The one that turns out to be
Oh.
the spirit of origin.
Well, thanks for the spoiler there.
Oh, Rain. Doesn't matter. All of this is spoilers. Rain. Yes, that there is a moment with Rain, very important Rain, because
Right,
all
she's the
of the
one who
girls make
tells-
chocolate. Of course, Shido isn't.
Yeah.
Yes. But this ties into that moment that I'm talking about. This is because Shido is not a part of this. All the girls make chocolate, and Rain is part of it. She also makes chocolate, and the girls are like asking her like, "Why are you making chocolate? Is there somebody special?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm making chocolate for Shido." So she calls him Shin for some reason. I still don't understand why she calls him Shin and not Shido. Why is that, Alex? Do we like? Was that explained ever? I don't remember.
No, I think it's just a nickname she has for him.
I mean, she wouldn't call him elbows.
I mean, I would call him elbows. So
You would call him target acquired. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Anyways.
yes, correct, absolutely. Just like Origami did in season 1. Yes. Anyway, but she does say that she's making chocolates for Shin, and she says that she's making chocolates for all the important people for her, all of her friends and all of the good ones. And the girls sort of like grill her about like a specific loved one, and she's like, yes, there was one person once upon a time, but not anymore. And it sort of like leaves hanging in the air. And this is important for future. And it would be nice if it was like kept a secret for a little bit longer, but no, we're literally going to see why that's important in the very next episode. So completely pointless and wasted, but yes.
No, we never find out
Right.
who she loved.
We do. It was in the opening sequence of season 2 or 3. It was the guy on the wheelchair that is not.
No, that's
Sorry, disabled. Sorry.
that's Ellen's sister.
No, no. But she also is that, and know that he was in love with.
Yeah, she's in love with her. That doesn't mean that she's in love with him.
I mean, okay. Well, I mean,
Good point, actually.
I
I
guess
did not
so.
consider it, but good point.
I guess you got us, Alex. But
I always get you.
Actually, would be
because the
amazing.
Podcaster
You know,
always
would be
has a
amazing.
plan.
Would be amazing. You know, would be amazing if the plot twist was that she was actually in love with. Holy shit, that would be a plot twist.
I would like it if it turns out she was in love with like one of the spirits, you know. But it's more likely that she was in love with.
Sure, but that's not gonna happen.
It's more likely that she was in love with
The wheelchair man.
Like I was about to say, you got us, Alex, until it turns out that we were right about where this was going. But you got us for now, and that's what matters.
You didn't get us. At the end of the day, we win. Okay,
well,
so they make chocolate. In the meantime, of course, I've already lost because I'm a ghost in eternal servitude and an eternal pain. Yada 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 yada. Right. So
I mean,
they prepare chocolate.
I thought you were going to say you already lost
the...
because you watched Dead Alive, but that's progress.
But that would also be inclusive of you, and you didn't lose, so can't just go with that. Anyway, just to move this along. They arrive at school. There is with the chocolate. There is a short segment of all of the male classmates of Shido being extremely jealous of him that he's getting like chocolate from 5 or 6 different girls, and they create a chocolate effigy of Shido. They break it apart and they consume it voraciously, which is a pretty funny scene, all things told. Shido is a little bit creeped out about this display of naked rage and jealousy, as he should be, because this is how school shootings start. And then...
Can you imagine if that's what season 6 is about? Or season 5?
Yeah,
Maybe.
sure.
But
absolutely. And then the girls... The three girls that always... go like, oh, that's so lame, right? The 3 complete side characters, they like throw chocolate to the peasantry, to the men that aren't worthy of having the pussy of a named character. They throw the chocolate to all the men that are not worthy of attention of women. And there's a scene that is rendered like the famous painting of French peasantry on the barricades, with the women styled as angels throwing them chocolate, which I think is a nod to Les Miserables. I don't know, but apparently Les Miserables is very popular in Japan. Alex told me, and I think that might actually be a reference.
Clap, clap.
Clap, clap, clap. Yes, that is what happened. It is worth noting that all of the unworthy of attention men are framed as these voracious beasts who consume chocolate and are just are so enamored by the idea of simping for women who just like throw them scraps of chocolate just out of sense of duty. It's great.
If the show was better, I think this would actually be funny. But it kind of just comes off.
That's the thing. It comes off as a distraction. It comes off, at least to me, it came off as a very misplaced critique. Because if you think about people who watch Data Live, like, y'all are the people who are voraciously consuming the effigy of Shido and simping for the girl. Like, that's what you lot are. That's what the people who actually watch Data Live are. They are not Shido. They're not the main character of the story. They are the extras. They are the nobodies. They are the NPCs. They are the completely unworthy of attention incel idiots. But I don't understand why the anime would include that, because, you know, probably they shouldn't be made aware of that, because then they wouldn't want to watch this, because it's making fun of them.
That would be a plus for good writing, but it's just like, I guess it's just like, it feels more like lip service. Like, I guess it would just be nitpicking at this point. We should just move on.
Right, sure. The point is that the Data Life somehow stumbles upon a critique of its audience, but of course doesn't even commit to it and does it badly. But anyway, Kurumi, of course, also presents her chocolate to Shido. Shido tastes all of the chocolate and is grateful for all of them, but he still has to finish the dates with Kurumi. So he goes off into the woods, into the park with Kurumi to have a little bit of a chit chat after all of this, to exchange the chocolates and like just continue their date. And this is where shit gets real. We are finally starting the actually important shit. All of that thing that happened before now, this is complete fluff and complete waste of time. But now we're getting to the actual answers and actual explanations. Kurumi explains to Shido everything that's actually been happening. She destroys the
surveillance
devices
systems,
that Ratatoskara, the cameras, so they can no longer observe them. And Kurumi, I don't remember, Alex. Does she explain her backstory first, or does she explain all of the events first? I think she explains her backstory first.
She
explains her backstory.
Yeah.
We have a full episode going into how she was a magical girl.
Yeah.
Right. We have a full episode finally explaining interesting, well, aside from origami, but in a different way, the most compelling character in the backstory. Turns out Kurumi is just literally a magical girl. Like she's was like a normal girl in a normal. She's very much Madoka Homura. She's more of a Homura because she's more of a rebellious magical girl.
We also discovered that the space quakes have been going on for a while during this.
You know, who will doubt that the girl that has time travel powers is a lot like Homura?
Black-haired girl with time travel powers. Who could have possibly connected the dots on Homura? Yes. It turns out she was kind of a magical girl.
Did Madoka rip off Data Live?
No.
I will punch you.
It's the opposite.
I will grab you and I will.
Okay, look, I will say.
I will just strangle you and I will just take you into the computer.
Well, what if I'm right? Let's see which is key up first.
Alex.
I will drag you into my realm of darkness.
Come on, you cannot possibly. Let's move. Okay. I will say this is not this is more like a like a Hunter x Hunter Naruto situation, like like Naruto definitely took a lot of elements from it, but this is not. I won't call it a ripoff. It's
not
just
a ripoff.
Using a lot of the same elements and like.
Well,
yeah.
We've done this before, and I think we had this. If you are not going to call it, I am going to call it a ripoff. It is a naked ripoff, and everybody involved in this project should just burn in hell. I think they are already doing that, though, because they do live in Japan and make anime.
I have not a good condition from my research.
Okay.
They couldn't have been ripped off. They both came out the same year.
Impossible. What, the light novel and the anime?
The light novel and Madoka Magica both came out in 2011.
Wait, no, but Kurumi was
but the light novel
later.
Of this.
Remember? Because
Kurumi was introduced later.
So yeah,
I don't know the release date for each book. I only know when the first one came out.
Okay, sure, but whatever. The Kurumi was introduced later, and things have changed. We learned that Kurumi is a sort of a magical girl. She wanted to be a quote unquote hero of justice. We see that she like helps put down stray cats from trees. Like she walks old ladies. She's a heroic figure.
Yeah, but then she looks at like the Middle East. Funnily enough, she looks like a TV and she sees.
Funnily enough, she does look at the TV images of Middle East. Yes,
and it's a refugee crisis because nothing bad ever happens in the Middle East.
Yeah, and she thinks she wishes she could do more.
But of course,
she wants to be she's a good person, but
yeah.
She doesn't have that much.
She has that. She has that Emiyashiro crisis of like, I wish I could help people more. I wish I could be more of a hero of justice. She has her best friend in the school, her best girlfriend. She hangs out with her, and one night she has a chance meeting. She is assaulted by a spirit, but this spirit is not the spirit that we know of later in the show. This is not a girl in a dress and like the spirit powers and everything. No, this spirit is like a raw elemental creature. It looks like just a fire elemental from D&D. Very much so, in fact. It very much looks like a fire elemental. And it just attacks Kurumi, but Kurumi is saved by a mysterious woman whose face is not shown. But that woman says that she is the spirit of origin, and she can grant Kurumi special power to let her fight with spirits, and she can save humanity and save the world from these nasty creatures, and she can be the hero of justice that she wanted to be. So essentially, she meets her Kyubey.
But unfortunately, she has a friend who she distances herself from because she has to spend all of her time doing magical girl shit.
Yeah. And
Yes.
and Kurumi also like
We have a montage.
yeah. We learned that the spirits like they not everyone can have them because if you're not like it has to be a wavelength, and if you're not in the correct wavelength, you turn into
Compatibility.
the
It's like Eva's. It's like
yeah you turn into an elemental essentially. Yeah. That
kind
just
of
from
right.
pages.
Well, we learned that in a little.
Continue.
For now, what the spirit tells her that like not everybody is compatible with a spirit, but she shows a high degree of compatibility with the crystal that she gave her, and that allows her to have her astral dress and everything. And it turns out that Kurumi is a very powerful spirit, and she can do all of that. She is great, and she is going to be great at hunting spirits, which she is. She goes on a rampage. She hunts spirits down. She fights them in the streets, fights them in the night, protects humanity from the spirits. But one day, she says goodbye to her friend, and she like rushes away to go do her spirit fighting gig again, but forgets about something and needs to go back to the rooftop to meet with her friend. But big shock, her friend is dead.
No, that's not what happened. That's what happened.
That is what happened.
She says goodbye to her friend, and then she goes and kills a spirit, and then she leaves, but then she has to come back because she forgot about something, and then she sees that the spirit of origin was disposing of her friend.
Right. Because it turns out that she killed her friend because the spirit of origin transformed her friend into the spirit, and she, unbeknownst to her, killed her own best friend.
And also,
This is
thought
where
it
we
was
learn that
just a
spirits
spirit.
are actually people. The monsters are actually people that got spirit crystals shoved into them, but weren't compatible.
Yes.
and also
It turns out that not all spirits. Yes.
In fact, the way you create a spirit is by doing this process a bunch because the crystal becomes more compatible with people every time it does this.
it becomes more compatible with
more-
people
yes.
every time you do it. Yeah.
So to make one spirit, you just gotta
That
kill
is-
like 100 people horrifically.
So essentially,
That
the
is
spirit.
what is called.
So essentially,
She has essentially been killing people. Yes.
yeah, and exactly. That's what I was gonna say. And it is pretty
Right.
fucked up, and Kurumi is understandably upset about this. So she wants to kill the spirit of origin, but the spirit of origin.
Right. She is just about to invert. Apparently, she's just about to become an inverted spirit. But she stops herself with her own power by shooting herself with one of her bullets. That's how her trademark ability is born. That like she kind of like by shooting herself with those bullets, she's able to unleash elements of her unbound power. I think that's how I understood it anyway.
Yeah, very very persona.
Very
So,
persona, yes.
nah.
That's what makes her the most powerful of spirits. That's why she's the Nightmare and she's so dangerous, because she's technically constantly teetering on the verge of being an inverted spirit, and she's only held back because she has time manipulating power. So she just like stops herself halfway through, right before inverting, and that's why she can have all of that superpower.
I thought you were going to say
And that's what Kurumi reveals to Shido.
I thought you were going to say she's the most powerful because she keeps ripping off cool people from other franchises.
I mean, that's the case. Yes, obviously, yes, but that does not need to be even stated. That is completely obvious. So yeah, she explains all of that to Shido. And then what happens afterwards? Because I know that then we also have the next big part where very important stuff happens, and then the Kurumi earlier in the timeline explains to Shido the actual sequence of events that he was protected from by Kurumi during all this time. But like, what bridges the gap here, Alex? Remind me.
Kurumi
she wakes
explains.
up and she's like, she wakes up and she explains what happened was that originally.
No, that's later. After her backstory, then she asks Shido, okay, now let me kill you so I can just go back and make it so that none of this ever happened. And if I kill you and I gain your power, I can go back in time. And if I kill the Spirit Virgin, then I will have never killed you, and you will still be alive.
And she also makes the worst offer in human history. I'll let you have sex with me if you let me kill you. Which I feel, even if I wasn't asexual, it seems like a pretty bad deal. Can you two agree that this is a bad deal?
Yeah, but the Dead Alive audience probably has a harder time with it.
I will agree that this is a bad, but I didn't think that that's the way the show framed it.
It did not.
As just a little bit of a devil to be a little bit of a devil's advocate. The way I understood this framing isn't that she's like, oh, I'm going to kill you, but I'm going to let you have sex with me, so that's a deal. It was like, I'm going to kill you anyway. Like, I'm framing this as a deal, but it's really not. I'm going to do that anyway. But before I do that, I'm going to give you one last kindness. I'm going to have sex with you, because that's clearly what you want. That's how I understood it. And if you frame it like this, it's a little better.
I don't know. Imagine trying to stay hard while the thought that I'm about to be murdered every 5 seconds would be kind of hard.
But that's what some people are into, my friend.
I don't guess she just seems like the most sexually repulsed person ever. The amount of times people are like, have sex with me, and his response is to jump out a window.
But we're not talking. But we're not talking about Shido. We're talking about watching.
I will say, doesn't she need Shido's consent to kill him?
No.
I don't think so. I think all she needs to do is take his power. I don't really understand how that works, because that was never explained. But I don't think she needs his consent. She is clearly in love with him. She clearly likes him, so she doesn't really want to do it, and she's trying to extend that in time for as long as possible. And she basically wants to get that consent out of Shido for her own moral reasons, because like she already killed a lot of people, but she specifically wants to go back in time to the point where she didn't kill all of those people. But if she has to achieve that by killing Shido, then it kind of defeats the point. So she kind of wants to do it with Shido. She doesn't want to kill people again. And
say what you will about Data Life, but at least I think about time travel, unlike the healing hero. Rito of a healer.
No, they don't. And also for the record, this characterization of
Data Life is better than Rito the healer. High bar.
By the way,
they think. They don't think about time characterization. Okay, but they think more about it than Rito the healer.
Listen, I need to point out, while this characterization of cool and it's interesting and it gives Kurumi a very interesting character arc and development, it is completely inconsistent with her previous characterization, because she was introduced to us as viewers as a person who just killed and devoured people who are abusing a cat.
Yep.
So like, she's clearly okay with murdering people. That's not a problem for her.
I mean, you could say she just.
But you have to understand, Eminem. That was before she became the most popular character. I've shown you the video of like the popularity polls. It's just Kurumi 99%,
Yeah,
and everyone else
Yeah.
is fighting
I
over
mean,
like the
Kurumi,
4%
Yeah,
left.
I knew about her even beforehand, but to just to give you a writing answer before the real answer. I mean, I can give you the real answer now. You're completely correct, Eminem. But the writer in me would say that maybe Kurumi just kills people willy nilly because she knows that she's going to reset the timeline anyways. None of the people's
right.
names
And
matter.
I would right. I I thought about that, but the problem is that would also apply to Shido.
No,
So
but
then the only explanation becomes that she doesn't want to do that specifically to Shido because she likes Shido, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, so she's a character who is going to absolutely kill everybody except him. I guess she's just a yandere then. Okay, well, I mean, that's what she
Kinda,
is. So
yeah. And like, there is also Gurumi Star Festival, which is, I mean,
You liked.
I still like
did
it,
like it.
even after learning all this. But
still remains to
yeah.
still remains to be the best part of the show, and if it
Sorry, you cut out there for a second. What?
just said that the Kurumi Star Festival still remains to be the best part, and everything else about Data Life did not exist, it would be okay.
I would say so, yeah. And like, I would even go as far as to say, if, like, it's better if you don't watch Data Life, maybe.
Yeah, definitely don't watch Data Life. I mean, I've
But
been
yeah,
banging on
then-
the drum since the very
Watch
beginning
the
of this
podcast.
podcast.
Don't watch Data Live. That's in our summary.
But yeah,
Yes.
after
Exactly.
after telling Shiro the deal, she passes out, and then we learn all the stuff that's been going on. That Shiro has actually died multiple times.
And she's
Yes.
had to redo this date
Uh,
100 times.
Yes, and for some reason she's been as ecstatic, as interested, and as happy about meeting cats and eating chocolate and making lunch every single day, 100 times. She's been doing the Groundhog Day, but she's been having fun every single day of that time. Amazing.
I mean, to be fair, you can have fun, but 100 times is a lot, and also. Maybe she's not a perfect actor, and they do things differently, or like maybe the cats goes it's a Groundhog Day. So yeah.
That's my only explanation. My only explanation is that there are some elements of these scenarios that are just like maybe she did the cat scenario 4 times, but a different scenario like 20 times, and the cat is like
She's like,
the cat
"Shiro,
scenario is
can we
still
walk
like better
down
than
this
the other
street
one.
instead? Why? I refuse to walk down that
Right,
one.
exactly.
Specified reasons.
Yeah.
Reasons. Yeah, exactly. So like maybe that's what's happening. Doesn't matter. The point is that younger Kurumi from early in the timeline, very similar in design, if not exactly the same as the Kurumi that they have met back in the time travel arc. Actually, the
I think it's the
earliest
same design.
Kurumi in the timeline, with a different eye patch, very much more gothic Lolita, and very much less extravagant like steampunk lady, but more like this punished gothic Lolita. Earliest Kurumi in the timeline explains to Shido everything that's been happening, and there is of course this is all framed as a flashback so we can see what was happening, and we see an amazing scene of Eren actually successfully murdering Shido and just cutting him down, to which all of the other spirits, of course, respond by immediately becoming unbound, immediately inverting. So there is this amazing shot of all of the spirits rampaging in the distance, and in the foreground we see the Legion of Kurumis like all materializing and all talking about how they couldn't prevent it and how that's terrible. And some of the Kurumis like appear from underground from the portals, and they are holding Shido's dead body and his severed head in hands. This is a beautiful image. It's fantastic because it's
And then Kirby
such a
kisses
tonal
the
whiplash.
decapitated head.
Yeah.
Yes, and then Kurumi
and also,
in a final act. Yeah.
and we also find out that Kurumi's power were actually partially sealed beforehand. When Shiro kissed her, or like half kissed her, but then after Shido died, she got her powers back, and she was able to go back in
So
time.
remember, so remember, dear viewers, back in the time travel, super convoluted and like incredibly. It was told to us that Kurumi can only use her time travel power ability twice. She can only shoot 2 time travel bullets. She only had 2 bullets. And now we find out that the reason for that is really that when Shido and Kurumi first met in the first episode, she appears and they kissed. Shido sealed a part of her powers. He didn't seal all of her powers because it wasn't a fully consensual kiss that is supposed to seal her because she didn't agree to that. But he did seal a part of her power, specifically the time travel bullet that allows her to go back. That's why her powers were limited and she couldn't go back in time. But now that Shido is dead, her time travel power is fully restored. She can go back in time as much as she wants. She does that. She travels back in time repeatedly in order to save Shido again and again and again and again, and repeat this dating scenario until hopefully Shido, in the final moments, does agree to go along with her plan, and she can do the thing. She can take his power and then use the time travel bullet to go back in time, kill the Spirit of Origins, fix all of her issues. That's her plan. And it fails.
And yeah, and she lets Shido go to think about it, or stuff happens, right? And she wants to punish.
Yes. She wants to punish the early Kurumi. Yes.
Yeah, the earlier version of herself, which is
She essentially
shooting her
tells
in the
Shido
face
that
and only grazing her with the
she
bullet.
essentially
Which I must
tells-
say it's a pretty good shot.
but then
Right.
her other Kurumi groups disagree and like
Kurumis appear.
yeah, and like disagree and like say that
There's a whole conversation between all of the different Kurumis, like arguing about do and whether the early Kurumi is right or whether she's wrong. She makes a case for herself. It's a real fucking court of Kurumis over there, just discussing the punishment and the crime of the one Kurumi from earlier in the timeline. But while they are discussing and while they finally, yep.
This is way better than Kang the Conqueror in the Marvel Universe, I will say that. You know how at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp or Ant-Man 3? I don't know, whatever.
Did not see Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Anyways, it's way better than Marvel, I will say that. How they handled multiple characters talking with each other.
Yes.
Well, it is also definitely better than our
Marvel cinematic movies. High bar.
Yes. And it's also definitely better than our podcast handle characters talking at the same time.
Nah, I win.
Well, yeah, you do. Anyway, they make their deliberation. They all make their case, but they end up all deciding that early in timeline Kurumi is right, and they cannot succeed at this plan without Shido's consent. They cannot simply kill him and take his power away. That would be inappropriate. That wouldn't be right. So they are committed to helping Shido but not to like be sealed, to just essentially return to the status quo from before, but to like try to work together and maybe do something. But before they manage to do anything about that, who appears but the Spirit of Origin for some reason?
Yeah. And he turns
It is
into
also
Rain.
not entirely clear if this is. Yeah, right. We'll get to that, but it is also not entirely clear when this judgment happens. Like, we don't know when they are like sitting on top of this building and deliberating, like what to do.
I mean, we can assume it was
Maybe it's
after.
happening at the same time in the present day.
Yeah.
We can, yes, sure, but when time travel is, we need to be more clear about that. Like, is this happening in the past? Is this happening in the present?
I would agree, except that Alive is not that smart.
Exactly. But that's my problem. That's the thing. Anyway, the Spirit of Origin appears, and all the Kurumi fire off on her because they hate the Spirit. She's terrible. She killed so many people and her friend. And despite what Kurumi said earlier, that she needs Shido's power to be able to defeat the Spirit of Origin.
No.
She manages to defeat the Spirit of Origin.
No, she needs the power to go back in time and kill. Wait, that's not true.
Yeah,
Or
it's not.
I guess it's because
That's the thing.
Shido partially steal her power, and then now she needs to kill Shiro?
That's the thing. It's not very clear. Like it has emotional resonance. Sit down and think about it. Like
I guess
times
I
it breaks
think it's
apart.
because right now the Spirit of Origin is weaker because she gave all her power to the other angels/spirits. But if she went back in
Maybe.
time, the Spirit of Origin would be
But if that's the
stronger.
case, if she is the thing about it is that like it seems that this is just a hook for the next season, that like, oh, she fought the Spirit of Origin, but she didn't actually manage to actually defeat the Spirit of Origin, but it only looks like she defeated the Spirit of Origin. But what does happen is that Kurumi shoot at the Spirit of Origin, they manage to knock her down,
Oh, wait.
her staticky shield disperses.
Before that, I want to clarify. The Spirit of Origin showed up because she wanted to help Kurumi in some way, or at least talk to her. But she didn't expect Kurumi to be able to shoot her down at this moment.
Right, at least that's what she says, but it's so stupid that I cannot accept it, because again, if that could have happened earlier, then like, why is Kurumi like, why would Kurumi think that she can't possibly fight the Spirit of if it was accomplished in 2 minutes, like a minute of shooting?
Well, to be fair, she didn't kill her yet. She just shot her down and took out her cloak.
Right.
And this is where we discover that the Spirit of Origin is
Rain.
The lady with sunken eyes, the teacher lady from that the sickly teacher lady, tired teacher lady that has been with Ratatoskar this entire time. And there's also a shot here.
Do you guys want me to edit around? Yep. So this is the part where the viewers learn about this, or?
Yes, this is the part where the viewers learn this.
Okay.
Okay, sure. If you want to edit around it, so that you can even do a cool staticky effect, like time going backwards when we mentioned that in the past, just to be like, just to be in theme for the episode and the
like the cloak of the Spirit.
The stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right. It is revealed that it is Rain, the lady that has been with them the entire time. What the meaning of that is unclear. We have a shot to end the anime on that shows all of the people on Ratatoskar, the whole Spirit crew, talking about Nightmare's next move of like, what is going to happen now? What happens now? And they all look towards Rain, who is there on Ratatoskar, and the camera zooms on her face and like lingers on it a little bit. And then the season ends. So it's not clear if this is the same Rain that has been defeated by Kurumi, and this is happening later, or if it's a different Rain. I don't know, because it's entirely possible that there are 2 Rains. One of them is a Spirit of Origin, and the other one isn't.
Or she just has like multiples, which is like, considering Westcott Prescott can have multiple children. Creepy stuff.
Kurumi can also appear in multiple places at the same time, and ostensibly the Spirit of Origin has all the powers of all. So it's not impossible that she could have the power to be into the different places at once, and maybe that's why Kurumi actually kind of needs to defeat her, because otherwise she would have to defeat thousands of her. That's also a possibility. But I have some other knowledge, extracurricular knowledge, that leads me to believe that it's actually just 2 Rains, but I'm not going to go into details on that. I don't need to, and it's not important. Also, it's stupid and dumb.
You predicted this while you were drunk, and you forgot.
Yes.
But
yes, ages ago.
So the quote you were like, it'd be really cool if Rain turned out to be the final villain, but this show's too bad, it would never do that. And then you passed out.
Yeah, and then I took that knowledge to predict the twist and also got it right. But I couldn't have done it without.
But for the record, I didn't pass out from being drunk. I'm a responsible.
You passed out from
of course, obviously.
Watching data.
From being right about
from the pain.
What?
I passed out from the pain of watching Data Live.
Yeah, that's what I said. Well, I
Right,
think
right. I pass out from the pain.
I didn't clarify
Wasn't
the
from
pain.
alcohol at all.
You're right. You're right.
And that finishes season 4 of Data Life. I wanted to say that finishes Data Life for the future, but God decided to twist the knife in my backside, and no, it's not, because we're gonna be back just in a month. So
Yeah. And thank you for watching. And here, just to have my short thoughts about the story. You know, hearing it laid out, all laid out, it's not that bad of a story, but like many problems in the world, it's a systematic problem, and also it's a execution problem, because this type of story can work. It's just that Data Life has a lot of baggage with bad storytelling and also bad time travel, and also it has a lot of like a lot of the
a
things
lot of
it
lolicon
does.
shit.
Well, yeah, I think that's a systematic problem, and yeah.
I don't know. Listen, I understand that it is a systematic problem, and sure, obviously, that is a problem with
No, no,
anime
no.
in
I don't mean
general. But I
society.
don't want to
I don't
let.
mean I don't mean like society based. I mean like in like a
I
story
mean,
structure.
systemic of data life.
Yeah.
The system of data life. Okay, fine. I was gonna say that I don't want to let data life or that it's a systemic problem with anime in general. But if you're saying that it's just a problem with the system of data life, then I agree. Yeah, this is a problem endemic to data life.
Anyway, folks, we'll see you in the near future.
See you when we see you.
Good night, Internet.
Just,
Wait,
bye.
you guys don't have any final thoughts?
No, not really.
Remember to like,
I
comment,
think
and
I
subscribe.
think we've shared them enough.
Yeah. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and click the bell icon. And thanks for watching.
Oh wait! I do have one final thought. Sorry to interrupt you so rudely, and sorry to destroy the closure. But I do have one final thought. Miku is not a lesbian.
And that's just a theory. A bisexual
A
theory.
film theory. Thanks
Thanks
for
for watching.
watching.